What's up, guys? It's Salvaje from the Philosophers Table podcast. So I'm joined today by Jojo.
Hi.
And this podcast, we're mainly going to focus on fitness, okay? So before I ask you the first question, tell the listeners a little bit about you, like what you're currently doing right now, what's a passion that you have, and if you're reading any books, tell them what books you're currently reading or what books you would recommend.
Okay, definitely. So like you said, my name is Jojo. That is not my government name, but it is what everyone calls me. Right now I'm working as a regional and back-end operations for Elevation Fitness, which is a chain of gyms down here in South Florida, which is currently expanding 2 more locations down here and a few more in Vegas, coming soon, hopefully sponsoring the Olympia soon this year. And a passion of mine is obviously fitness and mental health. I'm a big advocate on people focusing on their mental health and their physical health above anything else, and always bettering themselves in any way possible. And I think that's it for me. That's a little kind of like the gist of it.
I like that. We can actually have a whole podcast on mental health too.
I would love that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is a book? I think I know the answer to this because you recommended me this book.
Oh,
But
yes.
Maybe you change your mind.
I don't know if I
can
can say that name.
You can definitely say it. Yeah.
It's Unfuck Yourself. That's a book. I love that book. Oh, so good.
Super amazing.
I actually gave it to an old colleague of ours, Christina from UFIT. She
Yes,
still
I
has it.
remember.
She still has my copy.
Oh, that's how it is with books. You
Yeah.
lend it to people and then you never get them back.
What a mistake.
We're looking at my sister. My sister has this book called Ego is the Enemy, which is super, super awesome. Okay, let me touch upon that real quick. So Unfuck Yourself is a great book, and what I like about it is that it's very simple to read, and what I like about it the most as well is that it's super, super practical.
Yeah.
So the advice on the book is you read the chapter and boom, you can start executing on it right away.
Yeah, and he doesn't really beat around the bush. Like, he doesn't do this whole...
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes they try to pretty it up in this motivational way. No, he goes, no, this is what it is, to the core of it, and he gets right to what you need to be doing.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
That's kind of what you said.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a lot of concepts that are shared in the book that are super, super amazing. And he has this other book called Stop Doing That Shit. And if you can learn just one thing from a book, that's like really, really good. What I learned from Stop Doing That Shit is there's 3 things that define your reality. I made an Instagram post about it one time. But yeah, it's how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you see the world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So when defining your reality, sometimes you might be sabotaging yourself because maybe you see the world in a different way, or you see others in a different way, or you see yourself in a different way.
Oh, yeah, it's about perspective.
Yes, 100%. Okay, so talking about perspective, I love what you do on fitness, okay? So just to give you guys a quick summary, Jojo, you went from being a power lifter.
Yes.
And then you went to compete on, what's the name of the competition?
I went to the Ultimate Grand Prix. I am a NPC athlete. So, and I compete in the bikini division.
Okay, so you went from being a power lifter
Yeah.
to then competing on the NPC division. I actually wanted to get it right, so that's why I told you to say it. 'Cause I didn't want to say, oh yeah, that competition where, everyone gets all strong and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were a power lifter, then
Yeah.
you lost so much body fat, so it's really, really hard to lose a lot of body fat for women and men.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And now you're reversing, so you're building your muscle mass again, and you're gaining some body fat. So obviously, and you work in the fitness field, like she said as well.
Yeah.
So health and fitness is a huge part of your life,
Yes.
and I would love it if you would share why it is that fitness is so, so important in your life, and why it is that you also push yourself. Because you're not just someone that works out like me.
Yeah.
Okay, you are someone that sets these big goals and tears them down one by one. So what made you into that person that you are today?
So basically, it's kind of a convoluted story, so I'll try to simplify it as much as I can. Growing up, I had a lot of body image issues and a lot of psychological issues, which now I know more about and I'm working on. I'll get into that now. But basically, growing up, I had an eating disorder, right? So I was kind of on a chubbier side as a preteen, and I developed bulimia, right?
What is that?
So basically, I would binge. I would kind of like lose control, right? I would get so hungry. I just wanted to eat because I was trying to starve myself to get skinny. And then I would like lose control, eat, and then throw it all up.
Okay.
Right? And through that process, I lost a lot of weight. I got really underweight, actually. And obviously, that's not healthy and that's not sustainable. It's really bad for your mental health. I mean, you even now, years later, I'm suffering a lot of the consequences where you get this body dysmorphia. You get your days where you're like, oh man, you know.
I have those days too.
Yeah. So basically, through time, I ended up having a couple situations where I had some really bad mental health issues. And I ended up going to a psychiatrist where I was diagnosed with, obviously, I had the bulimia and I had the borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder, right? And which is all they all mix together. Let me tell you what it makes. And through that, I started to structure myself in certain routines. Fitness has been a really big part of it. So not only do I obviously have medications that I take, but I am very disciplined with myself about staying on track and staying with a goal, right? A goal that I'm always striving for. I'm always running towards that goal and keeping myself structured so I can stay kind of like within the confines or the lines of what I need to be doing, keeping me focused. Because of those things, it helped me with all those conditions. It helped me. I don't have any eating disorder anymore, or at least I don't have any of the symptoms of one, or the symptoms of any other thing, because I've worked on it so hard physically and mentally to overcome that. So it's really personal, and it's something that I love, and that's why I think that everyone would benefit from it, whether or not they have something severe. I think that imagine if someone with something so severe happening could find solace or find the solution through fitness, through physical health, through the nutrients that you put in your body. Imagine someone that's just kind of, like sitting around and they have so much potential to make their life amazing.
100%.
So, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned routines. What would be like a routine? Oh, I actually forget we should look at the camera because, those are like the viewers. I gotta get used to that. Okay, so what would be a routine that you would recommend to people getting into fitness? So I'm talking about, people that have never worked out. Like, is there anything that you recommend in that sense?
What I recommend is, depending on your goals, to kind of get an assessment of where you are right now and the things that you do right now. So what I always tell people is to try to kind of track what you're eating for a week or two without changing anything. And then when you track those things, then you know what your basal metabolic rate is, more or less, because okay, so I'm eating this many calories per day or this many calories per week, and this is what I'm doing, right? I'm gaining, I'm losing, or I'm maintaining this weight. And then once you do that, then you can kind of be like, okay, so then if I cut a little bit of calories here, or I up a little cardio here, I'll lose weight. Or if I up my calories here, then I'll be able to start gaining weight, depending on what goal you want. And then that will be like the nutrition, obviously, is one of the most important parts. So just once you know, okay, this is what I'm doing now, and this is what it's getting me, then you can start tweaking that towards the goal you want.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're talking about beginners now. We're talking about beginners. You're talking about tracking macros, which is fine. Okay, so step one for having a routine is tracking what you're eating. So if you're a beginner, okay, let's say, just write down what you eat. Okay, but of course, what would be, let's just say 2 more tips that you would give to beginners, people that are starting out in fitness, people that have never worked out?
Small steps. Take small steps. You don't have to go to the gym and do what the bodybuilders are doing or the power lifters are doing. Start with little things that you can handle. If you drink a lot of soda, drink a little less every day. Or if you're eating chips once a day, eat it, every 2 days. And then, start walking a little more each day. Start, with things that you're comfortable with and building on that over time.
Yes.
Yeah, like don't, if you go in and you try to go crazy like a bodybuilder, you try to do what all these people are doing, and it's gonna hurt. You're gonna feel uncomfortable. You might do it wrong, and it might scare you away. It might, it discourages you from keeping on. So I think if you start with things that you're comfortable with, and then start building as you're getting more and more comfortable, like anything else, then you're gonna be set for success.
That is perfect. I'm actually gonna segue into what you said. Okay, so small steps are really, really important. Before I got into fitness, like back to working out in a gym, I remember I started walking around my complex, right? I would walk for 45 minutes every now and then. And then it became an everyday thing. And then I realized, oh, I have a gym like 1 block away from my house. And then I started going to that gym. And then like my routine started getting better and better and better with small steps. Because let's talk about what you also said, like about being a bodybuilder, you know, trying to do what they do. I remember I started bench pressing. No, it wasn't bench pressing. I'm lying. It was the cables.
Okay, yeah.
So I started doing cables. What's the name of this exercise?
The cable flies.
Yeah, so cable flies. And my rotator cuff started acting up, I think.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take it super fast. I saw a YouTube video. I was like, okay, I have to do it like this because, you know, I want to look like this guy. Take it slow, right? So if you want to do chest, for example, if you want to bench press, take a look at some joint health exercises that are going to be helping you with the bench press so that you're able to get good form and sort of build up from there.
And no ego lifting.
No ego lifting. Go on a rant about that. Let's go.
So check it out. Biggest pet peeve for me at the gym is seeing someone doing an exercise wrong to do it with more weight. You're gonna get way more contraction out of the muscle and way better mind-muscle connection if you're just focusing on the actual rep and actually focusing on doing the right form. I was looking for the word. The right form rather than just going really heavy. So if you're doing a quarter squat with 315, you'd be getting a lot more if you're doing a full squat with 185. And then eventually, because you're doing it right for so long, you will be able to do the 315, you know, correctly all the way, you know, ass to grass or below parallel or whatever, you know?
Yes.
Just, you need to focus on actually doing the exercise correctly so you could get stronger, so you could get healthier.
Yeah. And
so then one day you could do the cool thing. Because you're not going to be able to, no one's impressed for you doing like a quarter anything, ever. Ever. And unless you're a magician.
The best part about taking it slow, no injuries.
No injuries. Yes.
No injuries, 100%. All right, so thank you for sharing those tips, of course. And so this podcast is going to be more like fitness heavy. And in the future, of course, like we'll probably talk about more topics. Let's tackle some frequently asked questions.
Yes.
Okay, you know, I went over some of these questions with you because I wanted you to give some really, really good advice here. Okay, so let's tackle this one first. Okay, what do you have to say to females, right, that want a big booty, but they also want abs? So like they don't want to bulk, they don't want to eat a lot, so that their glutes can grow. So, like, what do you have to say to, you know, those females that are struggling with that obstacle right now? Because that was the biggest obstacle that I had when I was working at the gym.
It's a big obstacle for a lot of people because it is impossible. So essentially what I mean is in order for someone to grow a muscle, they have to be eating at a surplus, okay, or taking performance enhancement drugs, which a lot of women definitely don't want to be taking because, you know, you get side effects that are less than desirable, like a beard or I don't know, like you're not gonna be, hey guys, all of a sudden.
So
exactly.
305.
Exactly.
Check me in. Forgot my tag.
I mean, your butt will be huge, but you will sound like Ronnie Coleman. So you don't want to do that. So you want to be eating more in order to grow that muscle, right?
Yeah.
So the reason that you see a lot of, especially this is really common in bodybuilding, that people do the bulk and cut and bulk and cut and bulk and cut. The reason for that is that when you're doing that during the bulk, you're growing, you're going heavy, you're doing a lot high reps as you can with the heaviest weight you can, you know, while doing it with the correct form and using that mind muscle connection to build that muscle group. And then so you're able to see that progress. I mean, you can see it definitely when you're bulking because, you know, you obviously it's growing, you know, but you're also getting some body fat.
Exactly.
Because it's, you know, you're going to get a little bit at least if you're eating in a slight surplus. You know, I'm not saying you have to eat, you know, a pot of pasta every day. I'm saying, you know, you eat at a slight surplus, you know, you're gaining a little bit of weight every week to be gaining that muscle mass, and then you cut down.
Yes.
And then you're going to have the nice abs and the big booty. It's going to look awesome. But you have to be going in that cycle, you know, building and cut down. But I mean, this is not going to be you start going to the gym and in 3 months you're super thick, unless you're a girl that just has a really good genetics. You know?
Yes.
I mean, some people are blessed and that's fine, and that's
good.
awesome. Good for them. Can't relate. But
Likewise. It took me
yeah.
so much to get a chest. Oh my god.
I mean, I don't even want to talk. Like, I'm supposed for my division to be growing my shoulders. My arms have been 11 inches for, I don't even know, like, I can't grow them. Like, it's the most insane thing that's ever happened to anyone.
Yeah, I can't grow my rear delts.
So hard.
And my shoulder is weird.
You know what? We have kind of like long limbs. So, like, my limbs are like, they're just skinny. Like, it's just not. Like, but not the point. So you're gonna have to take the L. You're gonna have to be patient and build that muscle and cut down and build and cut down, and it's gonna be, but it'll be worth it in the long run because you're growing that muscle over time. You're gonna be looking better and better every time you do it. You're gonna be getting stronger. You know, obviously your health is gonna get better, and the more muscle mass you grow over time, the more calories you can be eating. So that's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
So. That's my
So simply put, they gotta eat.
Simply put, if you want to grow muscle, especially your butt, which is really hard to grow, you have to eat.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm really glad that you gave that answer. And I actually wanted you to expand on that because, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, Jojo has a lot of fitness experience. And not only have you bulked up, but you've also cut.
Yeah.
Right? So, something that a lot of people struggle with is diet. Okay? So this is actually a topic that you covered before on your Instagram that I'd love for you to get into. And it's the whole deficit versus niche programs, things like keto, paleo, or carnivore. What would you have to say to people that want to lose fats? And instead of being on a caloric deficit, they would just do keto. And they would say, oh no, it's not a deficit, it's the keto that I need.
I mean, okay. So, this one triggers me a little. Okay, so basically,
Go off. Don't hold back. Attack.
So basically, it's a little annoying because I mean, if you want to do keto, I mean, no offense, you know, go do your keto, do your paleo, do your cayenne pepper, whatever diet, carnivore, whatever it is that you're doing, that's fine. But so the science is there, right? So basically what it is that these diets are a mean to an end, right? So the mean to the end is that you're in a caloric deficit. So for example, if you're eating keto, you're cutting out an entire macro group. You're cutting out carbs. You're going to be at a deficit. Obviously, you don't have to be tracking calories. I track calories every day. Some people find that annoying, but I get to eat whatever I want.
That's true.
But it's a mean to an end. Like, you could be eating a McDonald's hamburger every day, but if you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to lose weight. It's not ideal.
Yes.
Probably for your health, but it's doable. So all these diets, you don't have to do it. It's just a program. And I mean, there's not much science to it. And what I don't like about it is that then if you hit a plateau or something, you don't really know how many calories you're eating. You don't know what you're doing, what you're consuming, why it is that you're hitting that plateau, because you have no actual idea of what you're putting inside your body, how much of it, how much do you need, you know, and every nutrient group is important. So you need carbs, like, to live. Like, I mean, I guess look at Joe Rogan, but
yeah, because he did the carnivore diet.
yeah, he does it still, I think.
He still does it?
I believe.
Cool.
But it's not ideal to be cutting out you know, you need to be eating fats, you need to be eating carbs. They all serve a purpose for you, you know. So
What would be 3 foods that are good on carbs for leg day that you eat?
for leg day, rice.
Okay, rice.
I like white rice. If you like brown rice, that's fine. The reason that I like white rice is because it digests faster. So you get the insulin spikes sooner.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Digest faster. So the white rice is simple carb, and brown rice would be a complex carb. And the complex carbs, what they do is that they take, because of the fiber, they have a slower digestion time. So it'll be like kind of like it keeps you fuller longer. So, but I don't want to be super full for leg day, you know. I want to have the carbs hit me,
Yes.
and I am able to go. So rice, white potatoes also are good.
White potatoes.
And what other? I know I need something else. Rice cakes in a pinch, or bananas.
Bananas.
Yeah, bananas are really good. Fruit in general are really good for leg days. Just anything to get that carb hit, that spike, you know?
That pre-workout boost, but with food.
Yeah, but with food, yeah.
I asked you this question because I wanted to know. I didn't know that rice was a fast digestive thing, actually. I have tried white potatoes, but I didn't know about the fruits.
Bananas are really good. I love bananas. They're really good.
I'm going to buy a couple of bananas after this podcast.
You should. And you should put in, if anything, like, do like a smoothie before the gym. That'd be good, I think.
Oh, that's Gucci.
Yeah.
That is very Gucci. All right. Let me see how much time we have. Okay, we got 20 minutes. We're at the 20-minute mark. Oh, yeah, because my camera only records in 30-minute intervals.
Oh, God. Okay.
Right. Yeah, so let's try to tackle these 2 questions before we get to the 30 minutes. Okay, so some people that I met, right, obviously, you know, throughout the many years of working in the gym, they want to lose fat doing cardio or cardio-specific exercise, like different varieties of cardio.
Okay.
Okay, like, so from your experience, what would be the best advice that you could give to those people? Because it's pretty common, of course, for people to walk into a gym and be like, oh, I actually want to lose a lot of fat and I want to look a little bit better, but I'm only going to be doing cardio, right? So what would be the most practical advice that we could give to them so we can help them, you know, jumpstart their fitness goals?
Okay. So cardio's fine. Cardio's obviously very good. Good for your heart. And you will lose fat. You can lose fat doing cardio. However, you are not building muscle mass. So you're not building up your metabolism as you're doing it, right? So all you're doing with cardio is you're burning fat at that moment, or you're burning calories at that moment. It's not going to help you, you know, get tight. It's not going to help you build up your metabolic rate at all. It's not going to... So basically, when you build up muscles burn calories at rest. You know, metabolically, it takes more work for your body to maintain a muscle than it takes, I mean, when you're doing cardio.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, quick question actually.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. At rest, I never got that. Like, at rest as in like by sleeping, like when we sleep?
No, just like right now. Like right now, I'm hanging out and I would be, because I have higher muscle mass, let's say, than someone, let's pretend there's a person here with less muscle mass than me. I'm burning more calories than them just because I have more muscle mass than them.
I got you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because my body's working to keep the muscles, you know? Like it's moving the blood around, moving the nutrients around to keep the muscles fed.
Okay.
That burns calories. You know, you're making your body work more. Just to keep your muscles alive, keep them maintained. So that's why, I mean, you can do cardio. I would normally, like, if you're trying to lose fat, accessorize cardio. More like you're doing your weight training, but you're also using cardio as an extra tool to lose weight.
Okay, I actually, I have this question. I've always had it. I've just never asked it because I just haven't asked it. Okay. What about HIIT?
HIIT, okay.
Yeah, high intensity interval training.
I do HIIT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the purpose of it when it comes down to building muscle? Could we build a lot of muscle with HIIT? That's always something that I wanted to know. So
leg muscles definitely can be built with HIIT. HIIT is a little different than your regular list cardio, which is like stationary cardio. Mm-hmm. So basically HIIT, you're hitting, you're like, almost you get the explosion of the muscle, right? Mm-hmm. So that, it's like, it contracts it, like almost like if you were working out, like if you were doing a squat, or you're doing, that's why when you see sprinters, or you see like the sprinting bicyclists, they have these big, huge legs.
Yes.
Because you're using that initial jolt. And since you're going so fast and stopping, it's almost like doing like a squat, like a body weight squat, or doing like some type, it strains the muscle.
Okay.
So mainly for your legs, it's great. You'll get big legs out of HIIT, for sure.
Okay. That's perfect. I actually did not know that. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for today's podcast. Thank you, Jojo, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We talked about some fitness tips for beginners, how to make sure that you guys are eating the right foods for leg day, and thank you very much for sharing the importance of fitness as well on your journey. I definitely want to have you on more podcast episodes.
I'd love to, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot that you can add to the Philosopher's Table. 100%.
Thank you.
And another really important thing as well is, of course, make sure that you hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. All right.
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Do it now.
Or else. I like that. Let's all leave that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and I appreciate the watch. Thanks. Peace.